Yeah, the first time on Power FM.
Oh,
And I'm thankful to God that I'm here.
that's really nice.
I used to follow and support the Fat Faced
Uh-huh.
a lot as high people. And as Innocent Kawooya, we used to support a lot of that. And I remember Kingsley, Kopi Bly. Many people that are the late, what is the name of the late? He passed away from
Mark
Tanzania.
Elvis.
Mark Elvis.
Yes.
All those people.
But Innocent, you're not young.
Yeah, I'm 32 years. I'm not young.
By the time you know about all these artists.
Yeah. I've been here long, serving the industry, serving the youth, and believing and having faith that one day I'll be able every single day to transform lives and make an impact in my mother country.
Let's start with the basics.
Yes.
Who is Innocent Kawooya?
Yeah, well, Innocent Kawooya is a Ugandan born in Masaka.
Okay.
Studied from Victoria nursery and kindergarten. I went to Peter Kegard and Molly and Paul Primary School. Yeah. Later, I went to St. Henry's College, Tovu, and St. Mark's College for the same. Innocent Kawooya later went to do science in information technology. And today, the Innocent Kawooya is an internet entrepreneur, a computer programmer, an entertainment executive, a movie producer that has done the first ever Ugandan movie to be on Amazon. Innocent Kawooya is also a fintech expert and a financial inclusion consultant who is playing a major role in ensuring that Ugandans, first of all, are included in the financial ecosystem, and secondly, women are given a chance to have access to digital financial services that can help them scale ways of earning and saving and also planning for their families and children.
Very interesting. Innocent, you seem like you have a lot running for you.
Yeah.
You have technology as one of your biggest backbones.
Yeah.
And from the way you speak, you seem very passionate about it, which is really good.
Yeah.
Then why run for the Lord Mayor?
And thank you for even observing. But it's very open from even our mandate, our poster, our manifesto, and everything we speak. And all the activities we run are all aligned from a digital-centric point of view.
Mm-hmm.
We are leveraging the experience that Innocent has and my team that we've trained for more than 15 years. Within our team, we carry about 337 years of experience combined together, of different expertise around cybersecurity, around digital inclusion, around financial inclusion. Around the entire ecosystem of digital transformation. And we've seen the transformative capacity of technology in every system where it is put. As High People, a company I've led for a number of years, about 8 years, we have been leading the adoption of digital financial services and digital transformation in a general perspective for over the years since when we were established 15 years ago. And we've seen the results that have come as a result of using technology and humanizing it, putting it into system, running initiatives like Women in Fintech, running initiatives like 40 Days, 40 Fintechs, running initiatives like the prestigious High People Music Awards, running initiatives like the Digital Impact Awards Africa, and all that we've done. We've had a testimony of what technology can do when well used in society, especially in Africa. For instance, in Africa alone, mobile financial services, to say mobile money and fintech-driven products, are responsible for more than 467 million banked accounts right now. So people have been included into the financial system in a period of only 12 years.
But let's get back to asking. Yes. You've spoken of fintech, and that sounds like very foreign. Break it down for a layman to understand, because you're speaking of things in the galaxy while we're here on Earth. So let's be earthly use. What is fintech?
Well, fintech is financial technology.
Okay.
And in brief, in the layman's understanding, if someone is able to access mobile money today, the enabler, the backbone enabler is the financial technology, and that is why we are able to have such services. It's reason why in Uganda today and in Kampala alone we have more than 22 million mobile money wallets that are operational. And 15 years ago, when we were only still running with the traditional banks, we only had about 2.5 million active accounts that were running, meaning people could not have ways of saving their money, of keeping it safely and all that. Yeah. So, because we have seen that transforming lives, we've seen it transform music, we've seen transform so many other ecosystems, I think that Innocent Kawooya comes in rightly as a leader who, one, has the expertise to run every system from a digital centric point of view, and secondly, one that understands the trends. Okay. I would say, for example, what is happening today with the audience only of Power FM is that you'll find that 80% of the listeners all have mobile phones.
True.
Yeah. And when they all have mobile phones, I don't care whether they are internet-connected devices, but I mean they have a communication point of view that is mobile-centric. And how do we help them? How do we help their businesses? How do we help the women you've just talked about here that are even offering us coffee? How do we help them get more customers? How do we get them to have their money paid easier and have a trusted point of view where they can receive payments from anyone, anywhere in the world?
Yes.
I mean, as you're doing a campaign for them to empower women, how about if someone can buy coffee for anyone in Kampala and they're in the UK? With the clear integration of mobile money. I mean, that systems we want to make sure we enable. So when you have a campaign in Uganda, it can be accessed and it can be relevant to someone who lives in Singapore, and make sure they support the same cause as long as they believe in the same.
Innocent,
yeah.
Do you need the office of the Lord Mayor to be able to do the things you're talking about?
I was going there.
Yes.
Yeah, from a private sector point of view, and as high people, we've done a lot. Like, I'll tell you, for example, they recently concluded 40 Days for the Fintechs initiative, this year's edition, brought together 41 players in financial technology, something that has never happened anywhere in the world. And I mean, we're able to do so much as we can from our point of view, from a private sector point of view. But the problems of the people of Kampala are much more than what we are able to do as Innocent, the CEO of High People. Yeah, I mean, I can be a consultant and get paid money, a lot of money for that matter, but I cannot do it for every person in Kampala if I don't have control over policy, if I have no way of contributing to the decision making of our public leadership. Yeah, I mean, I'll not be able to do so much. And what I want to do is, first thing, I want to add quality discussion to our public leadership conversation. I want people to know that there are other ways of doing things, and not the many other ways that politicians keep lying us about, that they are going to do this way. They make every single execution, every single task look so bulky for a layman in Kampala, and all they tell us is in another language. They're telling us, you be poor, you lack the services, you stay with poor education, you stay with poor health care, because they want to make us feel that we don't have the capacity to do something for ourselves.
I like that you're talking about technology, and it excites me because that's the age we're in, and that's where we're going. It's becoming more sophisticated. It's also getting to a point where we need to be thinking of AI, artificial intelligence, and things like that. Yeah. But Innocent, I like what you're saying. The challenge is there is reality and there is the ideal. Yeah. You're talking about ideal.
No.
The reality on ground is that there's a lot of politicking, there's a lot of lying to the masses and manipulating them to be able to get these things done. Yeah. Aren't you giving us the gospel that we need to hear, yet the practical bit of it can't happen?
And Timothy, thank you for actually saying that there is a lot of politicking. For the record, I am not a politician. I am a public administration expert. I am a leader, and for that matter, one of about 17 years of leadership experience. I know every single revolution, every single positive transformation starts with the fact of someone saying, yes, you have the good ideas. Yes, you're thinking about the bit of ideology, and then what is on ground is different. And I have tested this. I have done this practically with different communities, with women that have changed and transformed in a very short period of time. And there are thousands of them.
Yes.
And now I know I'm going to change it in Kampala, Why? Because the politicians are going to lose to innocent Kawooya by any chance. No matter how much they do their politicking, they need to appreciate the fact that the people of Kampala are tired of poor quality service delivery. Yeah.
Innocent, are you saying that people in Kampala and the suburbs, Nakawa, and all these divisions we have, are they ready for ideas? Because we look like, you know, they say an elephant gets pregnant for 2 years, a dog is a few months. We look like we're ready for the dog's birth, but we're not ready for your elephant ideas right now.
Thank you, Timothy. My ideas are actually non-elephant ideas, if I'm to be a little bit more realistic.
Okay.
I have done these things for 15 years, and they have made sense. Today, the music industry in Uganda is proud of more than 3.7 billion views of local content on internet. And I'll tell you, 93% of that success is because of high people and the work that I led. I mean, if we didn't push players, including Power FM, you were part of Digital Impact Awards Africa some years back.
True.
And what we are doing is to make sure we push you to do things that we believe are going to change lives and transform many other people. Yeah. So when we did that, we made sure that this has a spiral effect. Yeah. And that is what has happened. 3 billion. We are a country of 42 million people. And where would someone, and the country of 42 million people has about 27 million gadgets. About 6 million of them are mobile devices that access internet. To say those are smartphones. Yeah? So out of 6 million Ugandans and out of 800,000 people in Uganda have laptops and use internet once in a while. That makes about a total of 6.8 million people.
Yes.
What is the multiplier effect, or what is the evidence of someone having 3.7 billion views in a period of 10 years? What logic can explain that? Apart from the fact that we have done work that have exposed Uganda and traded us very well to the world and delivered numbers that are practical that anyone can see. Yeah,
I see what you're saying is about 370 million views per year for the last 10 years.
Exactly.
Now, let's move to something, and still sticking with technology before we get into things you want to do and also the challenges of Kampala for you to be able to tell us. Do we have the platforms to be able to do this? One, because also the internet is expensive. We have, and it doesn't reach some places. I was looking at a few people who are doing live, Facebook Live or Technology Live of some of the presidential candidates. When they got to the West Nile areas, the internet was off. So what are you promising us? That are we going to have hotspots? There's a hotspot I see somewhere here in as you're getting to Paskubidi, as you're going to Kalere. There's a hotspot there, and you find people seated there trying to get internet. Do we know how to use it? Do we have the platforms for it? What are you going to do in the area of technology that you're talking about? Break it down for us.
Thank you, Timothy. Actually, from my digitizing Kampala approach, one of the things I am trying to make sure I make clear to everyone is digitizing is a little bit broader than online internet connectivity.
Okay.
I mean, internet connectivity is just one aspect of digitizing. And that is why I made it clear that I mentioned the people who have basic phones, feature phones, smartphones, laptops, and all that kind of stuff. Why? Because the digital ecosystem, you remember when there was a time of digital migration. And the first word is digital, digitizing content, visual content, and TVs were taken to a digital kind of a distribution point of view going forward. Radios were operating very many years ago on AM and all that. Now they're all running on frequency medium. Yeah, they're on FM, and it is a clear indication of digitization of systems. Yeah. Thirdly, in Kampala alone, every out of 1,000 businesses, 990 of them have phones. So these can be smartphones, or they can be basic phones or feature phones. Yeah, you know what that means? The agenda of Kawooya to digitize Kampala can be successful up to 99.8%. Yeah, that in any way or another, if we are able to even alone enable the players in the business sector and give them a level playing field and allow them to have a working environment that can digitally help them solve some of their problems. Problems like paying for the city dues and all that, trading license and all that. If we can create a digital financial point of view and platform that allows every owner of a business, starting from those who have capital of 50,000 shillings, to be able to pay their trading license using mobile money.
Let me ask,
yes,
how are you going to deal with the mindset shift? Because I will give an example of myself. My car ran out of insurance, third party, and I went to a broker, found them, but I prefer having money on me to be able to spend it than this whole use mobile money, send it, pay it, and all these things, because I can't really see it, but it is busy moving.
Well, the mindset shift, if I even go back to the question, is as a process of offering leadership in the right direction.
Okay.
The players in the financial ecosystem, for example, have done a lot. The banks, the regulators, the mobile network operators, the fintechs have played a role in marketing products, different products, So we are aware and we know that they are available.
Sorry, something that I've thought about. Mobile money is doing almost what the banks do. You can deposit your money, keep it there. They're actually now going to a place where they give loans. Innocent, how do we regulate this? It is a very slippery slope. And you as a technology expert and also running to be the Lord Mayor, how do you regulate this that there are no scams for people to be fleeced? There are no these get-rich schemes that are there. How are you going to ensure that Nze umuchala mukatali down in Nakasero, I am not fleeced once someone has bought food and is in Nakawa, but they're supposed to send me their money, but the food has arrived?
Exactly, and thank you for asking the question. I'll tell you for the record, from a digital expert point of view, maybe I'll call this my best interview ever. Why? Because you're asking the things I want people to ask me. Because that's why I'm talking about digitization. I am saying the city authority should take responsibility of running a digitized platform, that knows every player in Kampala by who they are and what they contribute to Kampala. So where do we start from? We start by making sure we create an information system that makes everyone know Timothy by who they are, by the service they provide in Kampala, and by how they can be paid.
The challenge is 1.5 million people live in this city.
Yes.
But every day we have 5 million people that come to work and go back. How are you going to manage to get all that content?
That's why I'm saying that, because people tell you it is hard, it is expensive. Thing is, when I announced officially to my comrades in some of the global communities we sit on last year, because my plan to be a mayor started 16 years ago when I was in my high school.
Wow.
That's when I was a head prefect. I announced at our assembly that I will be a mayor of Kampala in 2021. So my OBs and OGs remember that. But when I announced... So
you started campaigns early?
Yeah.
We should inform the electoral commission about this.
No, I make it public. And so when I told my international stakeholders and partners, they told me, actually, look here, of course you know the technology that we need to deploy, and you can actually develop a system yourself from your high people point of view. But for starters, we are willing to help you. One, when you are the mayor of Kampala, we are willing to invest in a system so that KCCA does not have to pay any single money for it to be in place. Two, we are willing to make sure we help you in data mining and in the data collection process, so that in the end, we at least capture the first 60% of everyone that we need to capture in Kampala. When it becomes policy and everyone knows there is no more kind of corruption and bureaucracy of paying trading license in cash, of closing people's businesses and all that because you want money and you're spending more money to collect it, what will happen after 1 year? What you talked about the mindset shift will happen automatically. Because someone has no other option of paying. Because they know the window for paying for a third party in Kampala is using a bank or mobile money.
Yes.
So they will have no option, they will adapt. And you know that is Ugandans.
That's
by
true.
Any chance. When they brought OTT, the first thing everyone was doing was resistance. And you know what happened after 3 months? people started paying for OTT. Now, after a year or two, you know what is happening? People are comparing between VPN and OTT because VPN slows down their internet, because it comes with other barriers, very many advertisements and all that kind of stuff. And I remember when I was teaching in Makerere, because internet by then was very slow, in 2009 and 10 and 11, we used to use VPN as a tool to fasten internet. It doesn't do that anymore. Now it is an encryption kind of solution that hides IPs, creates and generates new IPs, and hides your identity. It is not what we thought it was anymore.
And I hope the listeners are excited, because you talking about internet and technology and all these things get me excited. But there's a fear and a concern. I don't know if the listeners share it. But the biggest sword that is coming soon is who has the most data. Because now people profile you according to what you, the information you put on the internet, your footprint on the digital platforms, and they're able to tell. Isn't that going to be a problem where there is identity theft and all these things? I know we're going into deep technology, but you're the man that took me there.
Yes. Well, we have discussed with players like Level 1 Project that have helped in designing a new system for financial systems. Level 1 Project is an initiative by the Gates Foundation, and they're helping players everywhere in the world, regulators, governments, NGOs, banks, and all that, create systems that help you strike a balance. Because I'm very keen about data privacy.
Yes.
Very, very keen. So when these systems are created, they are not created for everyone to come and access them as they wish. No. They are created to be helpers and identifiers of opportunity and creators of opportunity for the same reason. That if I know Timothy and his keyword is, for example, is a journalist. At least if I'm looking for journalists, let me be able to know him. You get my point? So when I know him from that point of view, then I can find my ways of engaging with him, either get an opportunity from him or give him an opportunity for business. And that is what we are going to do.
And before we take a break, I want you to be able to, I want to get to the real issues that are happening in Kampala. What are the challenges in Kampala that you, who has had this dream 16 years since you were in high school to today, what are the challenges that you see in Kampala?
Well, there are very many challenges in Kampala, but the biggest is unemployment.
Okay.
Like you said before we go for the break, and by the way, thank you for the coffee. It's really awesome. I am also going to make sure I support the business and buy for 10 people today. I am going to make sure I do that.
We appreciate the support.
But about 3 weeks ago, 2 ladies that have been in sex working business for 16 years came to my office. And they asked me that they need help. They are tired of being sex workers.
Okay.
They need a home. They need somewhere where they can sleep.
Yes.
Why? Because it is one of the reasons why they do that. They don't have food.
They're trying to make ends meet.
They're trying to, exactly. And in the deep understanding of their challenge, it's all around unemployment. I'm thankful to God that we've been able to provide for them at least a room where they can sleep.
Yes.
We've paid all the bills that there is. And they are living happier than they've ever been in the last 16 years of their lives. But I'll add to that when we get back, like you said.
And you know, I like when leaders don't just talk the talk, but you also walk the talk. So our listeners out there, we're going to take a commercial break right now, but when we come back, we want to be able to look at some of the problems that are facing Kampala. From garbage to the markets. We just had the biggest shuffle of market leaders. Was that a bright idea? What does the Lord Mayor think about it, Innocent Kawooya? But also want to look at transport, because the roads are narrow, but it's crazy moving in this city. Garbage, all these things. But also, the political will that is there from the executive, is it there? Isn't it there? Do we need a Lord Mayor? That is something you can join us in this conversation. Let's get back after this commercial break. And I'm still here with the candidate for the Lord Mayor, Innocent Kawooya. We're discussing everything Kampala. He's telling us, we have talked about technology in the first bit of it, and he has brilliant ideas. And we asked if the ideal and the reality can be able to meet. We're on Facebook Live, Timothy Nyangweso, and also Innocent Kawooya. You can get there if you're anywhere that is not reachable by a frequency, and you can be able to see what we're saying. But also, you can be part of this conversation on 0414 34 20 20 or 0753 104 104. Any question you have about Kampala, drainage, roads, garbage, markets, and all these things, whatever pains you have in whatever area you stay in, Innocent is here to answer them. And in the next 30 minutes, we want to be able to tackle some of the things he is talking about. Innocent, you have talked about unemployment and you gave a very good example there. Yeah. And I want to push it even further. What other challenges are in Kampala that you have noticed and as a Lord Mayor are trying to solve?
Thank you so much, Timothy, and to all the listeners of Power FM. I talked about unemployment, and it comes number one on my list.
Yes.
And my campaign. My team has done a lot of research around the issues that the Kampala citizens and residents want to see tackled and at least helped to become better.
Yes.
Of course, I cannot leave Power FM without speaking about the seven spheres of societal influence. I mean, I cannot.
Yes.
Because the institution that runs Power FM has been an important player in the ecosystem of making sure families live, in making sure children are okay, in making sure the elderly are taken care of. And I mean, it is for the same reasons why Innocent Kawooya wants to serve Kampala. For instance, there is no way you are going to be in a Kampala where religion and faith is not well planned for.
Yes.
To make sure it caters and is inclusive for everyone that is in Kampala. You cannot do without understanding that there are so many breakups in Kampala. There are so many single mothers, and family keeps breaking down every single day. But why does family break down?
Why?
Does someone ever ask themselves? First, it starts from unemployment. So it is translated as poverty from another reason. Because no one wants to tell the story of things that happen in their home.
Yes.
But the reality is that the biggest reason why some things get messed up is because there is lack of resource in the family. Yeah. So before you know, people are mad at each and every one. Yeah. There is no way we can talk about Kampala and we don't talk about education. Yeah. As you may see, there is a very, very big difference between the education that is delivered in the private schools and the KCCA managed schools. A very big gap, yeah? And to say, even in the private school, there is a very big gap between the kind of content that is delivered in the private schools today and the schools of 20 years ago. Yeah? I mean, my niece, yeah, Emily, got 4, yeah? But in her school, since when she was in P1, they don't even know how to drum. They have never done music by singing for themselves. They have always sung on CDs. Yeah? They play for them music. They go to Wonder World when they have a concert and they perform on songs of Sheba. Yeah, yes, she's my friend. Yeah? Not because I'm saying they shouldn't perform to songs of Sheba. But how I wish they could perform to those songs by singing them themselves, but not playing a CD. And you know what that is doing to our future?
What is it doing?
They are killing every kind of talent by making sure they do the simplest things that people should have. Yeah, that is in a school where people pay 2 million shillings.
Wow.
Yeah? So the kind of quality service delivery for me is zero. Why? You have not explored. The school doesn't have a playground, so there's nothing like sports in the school. The only thing that all these schools will do is take children for swimming, which is also paid for. Yeah. Now, when you come to an institution like Watoto, by the way, sorry for the children that tested positive with COVID. I watched a video of children who are coming back, and they belong to Watoto Church.
Yes.
I watched that video somewhere. The things that the church still does of training children. I saw them singing a song for the pilot and everyone that was in the plane. And it reminded me of our days at Pearl of Africa, Children's Choir. Because whatever used to happen there was real. I mean, everyone could have a talent, a capability invented or discovered in them by giving them an opportunity. So we are living in that kind of Kampala where even in the private sector of education, there is nothing like that is being done at scale. So there is no regulation of education and the quality of education that should be delivered. On this other hand, of the KCCA managed schools, only a few of them qualify to be grade A or grade 1 schools. That is to say, only a few of them have more than 700 pupils that are studying in primary school. Yeah, and every single day, I wish I could get a chance and move with you, Timothy, one day at night. Whenever I'm leaving office, I drive through Kawooya and all that. There are so many children on the street that are selling yellow bananas and all that kind of stuff. They are my friends.
Sponges.
Yeah, and all that. I find a child at 11 in the night. Yeah, of course they know innocent, and they know innocent is their friend. Yeah, but I mean, I always get disturbed by the fact that these children are out at 11, and what they are looking for is food at home. Yeah, so they're selling yellow bananas to make sure they have food. And always when I buy from them, I don't take what I'm supposed to buy myself. Why? Because I know I'm even taking the little capital they have. But when that is said and done, these are children that are 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. So if they cannot afford to have food of 2,000 shillings at home, will they afford to have education?
Wow.
Yeah.
I want us to come closer to home. When we look at the KCCA Act, and especially your mandate as the Lord Mayor and also the mandate of the Executive Director, the KCCA Act says that you as the Lord Mayor will only preside over council, perform ceremonial duties, host foreign and local dignitaries, develop strategy and programs by the council, monitor administration, represent the city authority, and all those things. The ED is the strategic guidance and monitoring of the effectiveness. Her core roles are lead the authority, account for business, prepare, present business for the authority. Generally, she's doing the strategic work, physical planning, and the most important, this person oversees all the properties that belong to KCCA. There has been a rift between the minister and the Lord Mayor. Hence, the KCCA Act being vulgarized. How are you going to avoid this mismatch between you and the minister when you don't agree?
Well,
and the Executive Director.
Thank you. And that question, for me, is one of the most interesting questions. And I would wish the incumbent Lord Mayor would have even a reasonable answer one day in his life. Yeah? Because people come and contest for a seat that is a government job for many reasons. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah? You want to serve in government, and that to say in local government.
Yes.
Local government before has a minister of local government. But in your bid to become a leader of the city, the first thing you say is that you don't want to work with the government. Yeah? So, how are you going to have any kind of coordination, any relationship, yet you've already made sure that you make it public that you're not going to work with me? Yeah? Now, Innocent is an independent candidate. Not only independent by the poster and by how we were nominated from Electoral Commission, but rather independent in my point of view, in my thinking, and how I do everything in my leadership. One thing I know that I will not fail to do is to put everyone on the same table and make sure every single day I represent the needs of the people in Kampala that I believe need to be most served.
But they're different. They're divergent. There is opposition. There is NRM. Actually, the last council majority was opposition, and there were very few independents, and there was NRM. But the fight is always there. Kampala is suffering because there is no service delivery, because the leaders are fighting. The ED and you, the Lord Mayor. How are you going to, you and Madam Chisaka, find a grey area so that Kampala benefits from all these social services?
I will win Madam Saka's heart and mindset in my first 2 months.
She has already put out a strategy of 5 years.
Yes, there is a 5-year strategic development plan of KCCA. I wish I could get it. I have a copy here. And actually, no, I'm not planning to divert from it. What I am planning to do is to come with my expertise and add a layer that has been missing. And that is the digitization agenda. Because I'm sure she's also very passionate about making sure there is quality service delivery. Everyone remembers from even where we are that there is a lot of transformation that happened when Madame Musisi was the executive director. Why? Because she preferred to serve. Yes, she had her shortcomings and all that, but she preferred to go on the direction of serving and be less of a fighter that the mayor that was voted by the people decided to be. Yeah. Now, when they get a mayor, when Kampala gets a mayor who is interested in making sure they serve the same, yeah, the only plug that needs to be connected in is then making sure what do we prioritize. Yeah, and that is when I will lobby for every Kampala resident and show these people, look here, these problems, yes, we want to work on them, but priority should be here. Monitoring should be put here. Effort should be put on this and this. I mean, Timothy, I have real life cases of things that happen in Kampala. I am not a talker. For all my life, I am not a talker. I am one person who, when I see something, I go do it. Yeah, when I see there is a problem somewhere, I want to make sure I am part of the problem solving, practically, not a talker. The other day, I'll tell you, this would be a little bit funny, but it was real. Yeah, the other day I saw a video from one of the buildings downtown, and the incumbent, I mean the presidential aspirant, John Katumba,
yes,
who happens to be youth, very young. The youngest Ugandan since independence to ever be nominated for presidential race. Yeah, he has a problem with the phone. Yeah, his phone, he has gone to work on it, and I mean he has issues with basics of things that I want to make sure are executed in Kampala.
Yeah,
and I, as one that is pushing a digitizing agenda, the first thing that came to my head was that you should buy a phone for him. Yeah. When we went and bought a device and we said, okay, we are going to cater for all your data and all your airtime throughout the entire campaign. Yeah, as me, because I can afford that as the mayor of Kampala, or the one that is coming, because I'm going to be the mayor anyway. So I told him, I am going to do this. And you can't imagine how excited he was to even see that there is a gesture of people who wish to support me, not just for the political reasons, but for the fact that some challenges must be solved practically. And that is where I come in.
And you carry a very valid point where you talk about, because as Kampala, as people who live here and as I work here, we are really tired of people who talk and do a lot of nothing. Because if you look at Kampala, I don't think ever since Jennifer Musisi left, there is anything substantial that has happened. But this is where I come to you. The late Alhaji Nasser Sebaga, God rest his soul in peace, passed on. But when he was mayor, he earned 2 million shillings. Today, the current mayor earns about 30 million shillings.
Yeah.
Innocent, aren't you going for a job?
Wow. I love that question. And
because the money, the pomp, the amenities, the fringe benefits are good.
Yeah, now I love that. Let me say this now. The pomp, for example, the Lord Mayor today has a car. I think it's a Discovery.
It's a Discovery,
and it's rated at about $150,000, right? Me, that car, for myself, I'm going to make sure that money that was invested to buy that car is paid back. How? That car is going to be the most popular ride in Kampala, and it will be up for hire for weddings every weekend. So whoever wants to use it, they pay, and it helps the city recover its money. I'm starting from there.
Okay.
Yeah?
Interesting perspective.
That car is going to be for hire. So I'll tell you publicly, it is going to be for making sure someone pays back.
But it's an official car for you as the mayor
I don't
to be able to move.
I don't need it myself. I have my small car. I can afford to move with it, and it's okay. I don't need that pump. Yeah?
So you do not want the privileges that come with it?
I don't want that one.
Okay.
At least for that one. Secondly, for the salary, I've already told so many people that, yes, they are paying people 30 million shillings. So in a year, someone is paid 360 million. In 10 years, someone is paid 3.6 billion of the taxpayers' money. Does someone know the impact of that money in an education ecosystem? I supported a school in Kawooya 2 years ago, and I supported about 237 children, and about 15 of them were in P7. For 2 years, I spent 27 million buying for them food and paying for their teachers. By the end of the second year, these 14 children that were in P7 all got second grade. And the 237 children were studying for 2 years with 27 million. So what would happen out of 3.6 billion, in 10 years, if well used, if well put in a place that helps make this place better? So what is the Innocent Kawooya going to do with the money? That is the question.
Yes.
So I don't want the 36 million for myself. What is going to happen is we are going to identify businesses that need small capital. And every single month, my money will be up for developing businesses. And that is for the record.
We have taken it here at Power, and we're going to be able to hold you accountable. Someone sends a message in and says, hi guys, let me start by saying technology in the wrong hands, technology tools in the wrong hands can be very dangerous and destructive. I believe before we do anything with that, we need to deeply think about it. This is a concern from someone who has sent in a message, and I want to hear your reaction to it.
What's the name?
The person is called Derek.
Thank you, Derek. And he's 1,000,000% right. Yeah, technology tools in the wrong hands are dangerous. Yeah, very dangerous. There are very many battles in the UK of children who buy apps using their mother's cards without their permission, and they fight tooth and nail. Yeah, to recover their money. Some never recover it. Yeah, so and that's a first world country. Yeah. We are in Uganda. But some technology, like I said, has been used. Someone has been able to watch TV using a decoder for the last 10 years of their life. Do they think they are using ghosts? They are using technology. Someone receives mobile money every time when they need transport. Yeah? Do they think they are using ghosts? They're using technology. Yeah? Someone is able to call using their cell phone. Of course, they're using maybe a GSM connection, but they're able to call, and they have a basic mobile device, or their neighbor has it. So the technology we are going to use is we are going to make sure we take Kampala residents in phases. Yeah, we don't want to just spam you with technology that doesn't even make sense, but rather we uptake everyone by their level of understanding, by their approach to things. There's something we call KYC.
Yes.
In its form, what you say, know your customer. Yeah. Know your customer is about understanding everyone by who they are.
Yes.
Then begin uptaking them through steps that they understand.
But we are at different levels, because Kampala has like 3 grades. It has Omuntu Wawansi, it has the people that they call the middle class. Then there is the high end. How are you going to cut across
That's
the
why I'm
3
telling
levels?
you, Timothy.
There is Naguru, there is Ntinda, Nigeria. Then there is, I don't want to mention the place, but let me go to... You have said it.
So that is the beauty of the story. The story is that we have been doing surveys. We have been doing studies around women in informal markets.
Yes.
And we know what kind of technology they need. Yeah. So as I am rolling out technology for residents of Kampala, I know I'm supposed to have 3 steps of taking up everyone. As from Nansana, the Naguru, Lords, and then the Nigeria people that are smartphone users. So how do I bring everyone? The people in Naguru are using laptops, not smartphones. I went to an office of one of the rich men in Uganda. He has a smartphone of 10 million, but he uses a digital camera to take photos. So I was very fascinated and annoyed by the fact that he has not even transformed. Yeah. So in the same way, Innocent Kawooya and his team will make sure that we create technology that solves the problems of those that need that kind of technology. Yeah.
Let's look at Kampala. Kampala has become the focal point.
Yes.
I live in Wakiso side, but I have to come here and do work every day and still go back. There are people who cut across from Ntinda side to take their children to a school that is in Chibuli and causes jam. There's a metropolitan plan. Wakiso, Mukono, Kampala, to find that those social services are worked out there. What is your plan to make sure that a person like me, I don't cut the city to come here, but I can do my work still even when I'm there?
Well, my plan is simple. Digitizing Kampala. It's the simplest answer. Actually, for all questions you've asked me, I have the answer for making sure. Why should a border rider come in Kampala when they have no job for the day? For instance, yet you can order for them and they come from an up point of view.
When we're coming to speak to you, we did an interview on the street, and we found people walking. You find people walking both in the morning and the evening. So we found people walking in the morning and asked them, what are you going to do? They had no idea of what they're going to do, but they are hoping that when they come to town, and I go back and I'm able to buy some food there.
I wanted to tell you that. Exactly what you're saying.
So the hope of everyone who is out of the skirts is hoping that there is money in the city.
In Kampala is where you find people who have worked in Kampala for 3 years looking for a job. It's only in Kampala, uniquely in Kampala. When someone goes in Nairobi and they stay there, they work there for 6 months and they have no job, they will not come back. Why? Everything is very expensive, for example. So you cannot afford the life in Nairobi because you have nothing to do there. Now, Kampala is affordable, but how do we make it even more affordable and efficiently serving everyone? Those people who work have phones. How I wish we checked and confirmed that each one of them has a mobile phone. Did you try to get that? Did
no.
You? Yeah. How I wish we had those statistics. So we want to help that person. That instead of them having to walk to Kampala every day, even when there's no opportunity, let us make sure that they only come when there's an opportunity for them.
Let's look at two more areas. One, how do you hope to get political will? The executive almost has a hand in how Kampala is run because they have a minister, they have an ED, they also have a state minister for Kampala. How do you hope to get political will to have your manifesto running?
Well, how I am going to get political will is I'm going to lobby. I am going to lobby in everyone. I'm going to make sure I convince all those stakeholders. Not just the minister for Kampala, not just a local government minister, but I mean I'm going to make sure we get to sit on a table. It might not be round, whichever shape it may be, but we sit on a table and tell them about my intentions, first of all, and then let them know that yes, I need to work with them, but I also let them to know that my understanding of the city overweighs anyone's intention not to serve Kampala. I hope you get that very well.
I get it.
If anyone thinks they are going to work selfishly in an office that is leadership in Kampala and they're not willing to solve the problems of the people of Kampala, then they need to know that I will not let them do that. Why? 5 years from now, Timothy, if nothing is done about the problems like the children have told you, you'll be driving from Makiso, you'll stop in Jam, they'll rob everything from your car like it is in Lagos and in Abuja. You broad daylight like this time, they are robbing people on the street.
How do you plan to solve the transport issue? One of the digital platforms that we don't want to mention has done well for a period of time. They started by charging 50 shillings off every 1,000 shillings the border rider made. They took it up to 100. Now it's at 120. It is actually on the verge of collapsing. How do you solve transportation, taxis, borders? Because we don't even know the number of borders in this city.
Exactly.
So how do you plan to solve this problem?
Well, now one of the things that's going to happen about transportation, that a provider that I don't want also to mention, like you say, we actually engage those stakeholders in 40 Days for the Fintechs initiative, and we are trying to make sure we create a level playing field for our own private regulation and for quality service delivery. And we understand wherever they are coming from, and we want to make sure we help them as the city authority. I mean, if someone has had a case that has included 15,000 borders into their application, how about if we give them a job of enrolling every border rider? One, make sure we know all of them by who they are. Two, make sure we help all of them get valid driving permits that allow them to operate freely in Kampala. And then three, make sure that we find a way of giving them a bigger marketplace so that they cut down the cost. So instead of them charging 50 shillings when they have 15,000 users, if they have 100,000 users, the expectation is that they should charge 5 shillings. And that will be solved.
I hope that is solved, especially with the narrow roads that we have in this city.
No, the roads are not actually just very narrow, like we think. Like you've mentioned, the strategic development plan of KCCA has them in plan, and so many roads are going to be constructed. Thing is, traffic goes in a wrong place. Like you see here, this road might be busy down here, and up there is no traffic.
True.
Yeah, I mean, how can people know that I should use this road, not the other? And rather than congesting one road and make Kampala look like a small place.
The people in the markets have made complaints, and this is a story that got the president involved in how things are run in this city. And they have made some of the leaders stop working, and they have told them to elect. What is your thought as the Lord Mayor?
Well, I believe in some bit of decentralization.
Okay.
Actually, my way of doing things is that I always especially I work with a lot of women, so I let women in my circles get empowered, make decisions. For instance, I was coming to be hosted by Timothy, and honestly, I didn't know at all. The only thing I knew is that slot is taken, so I cannot take it myself. But okay. it is my slot, yeah? But then, Tina will tell you that time is booked, period. So the only thing you'll see is you send you a poster. In the same way, the people that work in these markets have better understanding of the challenges, the daily challenges of those markets. So what do we do to strike a balance? Let's empower them by training them on the things we think should be done from a KCCA point of view. And let's give them the power to run these markets. And for me, that should be my approach. Yeah, any day, any time.
Innocent, unfortunately, we have run out of time, so I'm going to give you a minute to be able to make your parting shots and also respond to, if you don't succeed, God forbid, to be a Lord Mayor, what next? And also, if the president gave you a ministerial post, what would you do? A minute.
Thank you so much, the listeners of Power FM. I hope God blesses you in every single bit of your prayer and everything you do. I know I'm going to win, and I've won a lot of things already in the run. I'm happy at least the people like Timothy that identify the ideas and pick us up to come and speak a little bit louder. I am going to keep serving. I have a job that I've had for the last 15 years, even if I don't get the vote. Yeah? But I'm going to keep on with my advocacy for women empowerment, for financial inclusion, and for making sure that there is a level playing field for everyone in Kampala. Come 2021, January 20th, vote Innocent Kawooya. I'll be the first on the ballot paper, so don't forget to vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ones listening to us, that was Innocent Kawooya. He's a candidate for the Lord Mayor of Kampala.